In John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, Keanu Reeves plays John Wick, the assassin, whom, in a previous adventure, he killed a member of the high table, branch of assassins, and now he's, excommunicado, excommunicated. He's being punished for that. And all these other, kicked out basically. And all these other assassins are going to try to kill him he has a $14 million bounty on his head. And I think they actually increased that bounty in the movie. I mean, I just saw the movie, but I don't remember I think they, he was doing so well surviving, I think they upped the price at some point in the movie. But anyways, basically, all these people are trying to kill him, and he's got to fight them off or avoid them or whatever. And that's to set up the premise for this movie. It's basically just an excuse for all these multiple constant action scenes going, throughout the movie, where, the director can, figure out all these different ways to have all this stuff going on. And I could just picture them in the writer's room, saying, why don't we just do this? Why don't we have John Wick fight people with a horse? Why don't we have him, fighting people on a motorcycle with knives and all this it's all that kind of stuff. I just know they were just thinking of scenarios or reasons to put all these wild, over-the-top action sequences in this movie. And, at this point, 3 movies in, you know what to expect from a John Wick movie, and the people making John Wick movies know what you expect, and they're just going to give it to you. So, yeah, now that I've seen it, John Wick is a good movie because it is a good, action movie, which is, it delivers exactly what, it expects. The action scenes are very slick. They're nicely choreographed. They're very, gory. I mean, it's not like they linger on the violence the same way in those torture porn horror movies that were really popular in the 2000s. It's not like that, but there are some graphic things that happen to people in this movie, and they don't shy away from that happening or showing it. But they don't linger on it, basically what I'm saying. It's not like the directors and the screenwriters are obsessed or in love with violence, so to speak, where it's they're lingering on it, but they do, go there, right? But they aren't necessarily, I guess, it's not sick, but it is graphic is what I'll say. So, the thing that you'll like most about John Wick, the plot line's very simple, just to set up, a lot of action things. And that's probably what you will like the most, right? There's, a motorcycle scene. There's a scene where, John Wick fights people in, some stables, and, there's horses involved. There are a lot of, hand-to-hand combat scenes. There are scenes where he's throwing knives. There's scenes where he's using guns. Halle Berry is a supporting character who comes in as a friend, a supporting character to help John. She has some dogs with her. There's, animal-assisted combat where, she'll call her dog and the dog will attack or do something. It's almost like when I saw that part when Halle Berry would be summoning her dogs, she actually fights too, but, her dogs help her in the fights. They even have, bulletproof vests on, so, when they get shot, they can be okay. They're basically ready to fight. I thought of, in a fighting game, in fighting games, there are characters, part of their moves is they'll summon, an animal to come and attack the opposing player. That's what I thought of watching this movie when Halle Berry's dogs would assist her in fights. When Harley Quinn in Injustice, has her super move, and out comes a hyena, right? And there's other games like that, too. Or, in Capcom, right? Marvel versus Capcom, when you have one player go like this other player jumps out to assist the AI character. That's what I thought of when Halle Berry and her dogs were, doing their business on the screen. There's even a part of an action scene where John Wick is underwater in a pool, and he's shooting bullets at somebody who's shooting back at him, underwater. They're basically firing at each other under the water. It's there's all of these setups for these really interesting, unique action sequences. And the action sequences, I feel, in my opinion, I'm not an expert on martial arts or anything or action choreography, but the way I would describe them is they're very intimate and close. And what I mean is they're very good, but they're more kind of on an up close personal scale than say a movie where there's a 13 car chase or whatever, and there's all these buildings exploding. None of the action scenes in John Wick are huge in the sense that they involve all these different pieces or moving parts. It's usually just John Wick and a relatively small number of people doing up close stuff. which is fine. I mean, there are different ways you can do like action and violence. You can do it like that, or you can do it where there's like, you know, a 13 car chase, or there's like submarines or helicopters. John Wick doesn't go there, but where it does go, it goes very well. The performances are all good. I mean, this isn't a movie. I mean, the acting is good for an action movie. It's not the kind of movie that calls upon people to be delivering like soliloquies and stuff in Shakespeare. But, you know, it's nice to see that Keanu Reeves, he still got it, right? You know, from his Matrix days and his Bill and Ted days, you know, even now, I think he's in his mid to late 40s. He can still be beating people up in an action movie. I mean, I'm sure he had stunt people and stuff too, but, you know, I think this is very good for Keanu Reeves' legacy. Halle Berry does a good job with her action scenes too. She's not as old. I don't think she's as old as Keanu Reeves, is she? But I don't care how old anybody is. Let me stop trying to sound ageist and crap. I mean, everybody does a good job in the movie. And by the end of the movie, I can't give away anything with spoilers, but the movie ends to set up John Wick 4, where John is still in a precarious situation. Things have changed for him a little bit, but not by much, because he's still going to be him against the world, so to speak. But, you know, I think that this movie will probably do well enough, ideally, for them to make a John Wick 4. And if you like John Wick's 1 through 3, you will be happy. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.